What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Mario coming to you with another video. Here to give my review, my quick thoughts on the brand new Marvel Studios Moon Knights. Finally, we are here. Now let's talk about it. In this first episode, we are introduced to Ethan Hawke's character, Arthur. And in the trailers, it seemed like he was a cult leader. But he kind of is and kind of isn't, because he's actually worshiping another god. And I'm guessing this god has given him powers, because he has this tattoo where later in the episode, his followers, regular human beings, they bow down to him. And he says something like, he brings something up about like punishing you for your sins. The god basically saying that she knows all, and she knows what's gonna happen and stuff, and so she leaves like their deaths, or she leaves their future in his hands. And so there's a tattoo, like I said, and it's that scale, and if it goes red, it basically kills you. It drains your life force or whatever. And green, I believe you're good to go, because there was two examples. A guy who got the green scale and he was fine, but an elderly lady got the red scale and she died. And so I believe if they die, they probably get sucked into like his powers to, I think we'll probably release that god. But yeah, he was a pretty cool introduction to the character Arthur. I love Ethan Hawke, so I'm excited to see where this goes for him. But then we are introduced to Stephen Grant, our hero that we will be following throughout the series. And I'm a big Moon Knight fan. I was excited for this series. And so yeah, we're introduced to Stephen Grant. In this episode, in the series, he is a museum worker, low level entry. I believe he's like a gift shop worker. And yeah, in this first episode, we see him, living his daily life, but some shit starts happening. It's pretty cool how like he knows what's going on, not to the full extent, but he's already prepared his whole room where he locks his legs. He believes he sleepwalk, and he believes he's dreaming, but he's actually not. He's actually turning into his other alter ego, which is Mark Spector. And so we're mainly following Stephen Grant. And so there's throughout his first like day, or not his first day, but our first day with him, some people kind of confuse him. They call him another name, and it's not Steven, and it's not Mark. So he's just kind of confused by those things happening. But he just reassures them it's Steven, And I also forgot another character was introduced to, Little Nemo. Nah, that's Little Nemo, aka Gus, is actually Steven's fish. And it's pretty cute, and it's kind of funny what happens a little bit later on. But yeah, it's kind of cool how it transitioned to when he falls asleep, and then he wakes up and he's in a different location, and that's kind of when he meets Arthur, Ethan Hawke's character, and he doesn't know what's going on because people are shooting at him, and then he has to hide in that little cult thing going on. And it's crazy too, because once he gets surrounded, he kind of closes his eyes, and then boom, like everybody's dead. And it's crazy. It's so brutal, because in those action sequences, or when he closes his eyes and he reopens them, and you just see people on the floor, it's crazy because there's blood everywhere. And so that is like so cool that Marvel, did this. They definitely gave it like a R-rated feeling, and yeah, it was really cool. And then he has this entity talking in his head, and I forgot the god's name, basically Moon Knight's mentor or whatever at the moment, but he's basically talking to him. And so we don't get the name of him now, but yeah, he's talking to him, and he also has like a brief moment with him where we've seen in the trailers where he's pressing the buttons in the elevator, and he appears right there, and then he's about to, he comes towards him and is about to grab Steven, but he slowly just, not slowly, sorry, he quickly disappears, and it happens to be an old lady, and he's like, oh, I'm just getting the contact lens because he was on the floor. And then yeah, like he reopens again his eyes, and he's on a bus, and he actually sees the entity right there, like as he's driving by. And so yeah, it was pretty cool. Um, like I said, there was a few little things like the name calling, where he has to reassure people. He also had a date, and so he wasn't aware of the date. And then once he's back from like that trip, that action scene, along the highway, along the mountains, he comes back thinking it's Friday, but it turns out it's Sunday. And so it's amazing because Oscar Isaac is an amazing actor, and so I kind of love how the camera just stayed on him, where his heart was broken over it being Sunday. Like, oh, it's just like little moments like that work for me. I cherish those little moments because you can totally tell he's giving it his all in this act, and yeah, like he's just totally saddened by it, and yet also confused because he thought it was Friday. He was ready for the date that he had no idea of, but he was ready for it. And then when he calls the girl's mad and basically hangs up on him because it's Sunday, and he stood her up, but he wasn't aware because I'm sure he was as Mark during those couple of days. And so, yeah, like I said, I loved how the camera just stays on him. It shows his true emotion. He's sad, he's confused. And then, yeah, he goes back home, and he notices something on the floor. And so he sees like chalk. And so he moves the table to where the chalk is. And then he stands up on it, and he sees like something's like a little opening in the roof. And he opens it, and he finds a cell phone and keys. I believe it's keys. If not, it was a rechargeable battery. I think it was keys. But in the next scene, we see him charging the phone, and he has a bunch of missed calls from this character Layla. And so when he calls her, she's like, where you been? It's been days, or I think or weeks or months or something like that, something long, because it was a bunch of missed calls. And so she calls him Mark, and it's also another scene that we've seen on the trailer. He's like, "Why did you call me Mark?" Also, I just love his accent. I love Oscar Isaac, man, like I said, and yeah, he has a beautiful accent here. It's so believable. So yeah, he's confused. He's like, "Why did you call me Mark?" And then she hangs up, and then you hear Stephen Grant talking to him, which is his other persona, and yeah, like that's his regular accent, his regular English voice, Oscar Isaacs. And so, yeah, you find out that there's also someone there, but he still doesn't really get it. Not until he goes into the museum, and then that's when Arthur comes in, and he like does the whole like, oh my god, sees all, knows all, whatever, and he just says they have a little conversation, and I guess one security guard or something that works there is in the cult, but didn't really do much regarding with that. Well, not in this episode. He's just like, oh my god, like you're in it too. But yeah, like I said, Arthur grabs his arms and like does a little scale thing, and it didn't really show what happened. He just looked at him and was like, "There's chaos in you," and so then he runs off, and then you see it's the end of the night. He's doing inventory, and you hear like a dog whimpering and throughout the museum. And so as he's trying to find it, you also hear Arthur on the intercoms, and he's saying he wants to get that. It's like a little gem, a little gold beetle or so, to give it back. And he released like an Egyptian god monster creature on him, so it's trying to catch him. And an amazing shot at the end where he's kind of cornered, he locked himself in the bathroom, and it was just amazing. I'm kind of getting chills just thinking about it right now. But yeah, he's freaking out. He doesn't know what to do, and there's a bunch of mirrors, or there's two mirrors, and so it looks like there's a bunch of mirrors around him. And then you see Marks talking to him. He's like, "Relax, calm down, give me control," because yeah, obviously they have like a power struggle, even though Steven doesn't know it, because every time he closes his eyes and he opens them and he's somewhere else, he doesn't know what's going on. Even when he hears the entity's voice, he doesn't know what's going on. But and it's also funny too, a little small thing, that whenever he closes his eyes and he's somewhere else, like he has no memory of how he got there. It's funny how the entity is like, "Oh no, this idiot is back." It's just funny how basically they just call him an idiot, and obviously they don't not like when he's in control. And so yeah, back to the scene. Um, he's losing his mind. He's talking to Mark in the mirrors, and he's just saying, "Give me control, give me control. I can save us both." And so he does. At first, I'm like, "Oh, he's probably gonna die," because he does start closing his eyes again, and you see the Moon Knight costume going up, but then like he gets attacked by the creature, and then it's the shot from a trailer, but a little bit extended, where the paramedic like gets out of the bathroom or whatever, and it's slowly going in, and then like a sink is thrown, and then you see the creature on the floor trying to escape, and then he's brought back in, and the camera starts entering the doorway, and then it's just the long shot of Moon Knight in his costume beating the shit out of that creature. I'm sure he killed it, because yeah, it was lifeless after he got up, and then he turns around and then walks, and we see his face, and boom, like that was it. That was from the trailer. Man, I'm still just getting chills thinking about it. The ending was badass. I thought it was a great introduction to these characters. I know there's not really a definitive origin for Moon Knight, so I'm like stoked to see and find out Marvel Studios version of this origin story. And so I was highly invested in this. I was also like, "Oh my god, like where are we at now?" Thinking I was in this body too. So it's really cool. Like I said, I'm easily invested in this. I can't wait to see where this goes and how that power struggle within him is gonna plan out, because I'm sure he has to gain control at one point, right? To be our hero, the Dark Moon Knight. No, I'm just kidding. I was trying to refer him to Batman. But I mean, yeah. But the question is, what did you guys think about it? Did you guys love it like I did? Did you guys enjoy it? Are you guys hyped for the rest of the season? Whatever y'all thought, comment below and let me know. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. That would mean a lot to me. Thank y'all for tuning in, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.